Jake from State Farm, it's the least I can do. You really did me a solid with that, Maya markdown insurance.
Here's the deal, Maya. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates. No, really, there are no markdowns, just great rates. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. What do you do? Where? I'm in Texas. Oh, Texas.
The police department received a call reporting their dead body in Freedom Creek.
As much as you can to find out who did this. 1,000 insects. The ground is just falling out beneath you. Mom, stay out of there.
For Deb, living with constipation and therapy was the same old story for years. Trying this, doing that, spending countless days right here. Still came with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. Awful feelings she kept sugarcoating. Finally, with the help of her doctor, it came to be that her symptoms were all signs of IBS-C, and that's why she said yes to adding Linzess. Linzess is not invasive. It helps you have more frequent and complete bowel movements, and is proven to help relieve overall bowel symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. Do not give Linzess to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with blood or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Could your story also be about IBS-C? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess.
Red Oaks uses less water today, so we can enjoy the future tomorrow. Delicious, creamy, Chobani zero sugar food.
The war is over. AEW defeated WWE NXT. AEW Dynamite live this evening with live reactions, play-by-play, live right here on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in and watching. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cohen Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below with that thumbs up button. Share hashtag AEW, hashtag AEW Dynamite. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers, always greatly appreciated. As well, WWE NXT was last night because they're no longer on Wednesday nights because AEW has stood tall and won the war, as mentioned, the so-called Wednesday night war that us fans dubbed. Of course, going back to the Monday Night Wars with WWF at the time, the WWE and WCW before they got bought out by Vince McMahon. However, AEW now a new creation the past few years. Past year and a half, though, on Wednesday nights, it's been AEW Dynamite and WWE NXT live head-to-head against one another on TNT and USA Network, respectively. Yes, NXT's, along with AEW, in that time span, have been on other nights throughout the week as well. NXT, though, as a whole, from their start, they've been on Thursdays, Wednesdays, and now Tuesdays. So AEW first night here tonight by themselves this Wednesday night, April the 14th, 2021, as the war is officially over. Now, if you remember from last week, I had live reactions play of AEW Dynamite in night one of WWE NXT TakeOver Stand Deliver, but was dealt some technical difficulties in which that stream is no longer on the channel. And as I've said since during the live reactions play that I've done with night 2 of TakeOver Stand Deliver last Thursday, of course WrestleMania this past weekend, Raw after Mania, NXT last night, now AEW this evening with Friday Night SmackDown still come on Friday, so hopefully you'll tune in then as well. that I would recap AEW from last week tonight during AEW Dynamite. And that's still the plan. We're going to do that during the commercial breaks this evening. So stay tuned. But tonight, AEW Dynamite, so far, they have planned Chris Statlander versus Amber Nova in a singles match in the women's division, along with Jade Cargill and Red Velvet as well. We'll hear from Christian Cage on whether or not he'll accept Taz's offer to join Team Taz. I highly doubt that'll happen. They'll start a feud there. Anthony Ogogo, who is an Olympic medalist, will make his debut as well, part of the now distant QT Marshall from the Nightmare family, as QT now has his own bunch, so he's a part of that. We'll also have a few championship matches, but first, Chris Jericho versus Dax Harwood, the Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle, of course, before their Blood and Guts in a few weeks from tonight, and then on the road to Double or Nothing Memorial Day weekend. But it'll be Chris Jericho versus Dax Harwood, of course, formerly of the WWE with FTR. But it'll be Jericho, so two former WWE wrestlers in this singles match. But there's how many in AEW as it is, so that's not really that relevant. It is what it is. I mean, you know, you move on, you find a new job. Okay, who really cares how many, you know, former talent are in this new company? So yeah, it doesn't matter a whole lot, but it'll be Chris Jericho and Dax Harwood, Jericho and Harwood, with Iron Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson going to be on Dynamite for the second consecutive week. I believe the fourth or fifth time he's actually been involved with a storyline, at least with Chris Jericho and AEW, since they brought him in almost a year ago now. But he'll be, Mike Tyson will, the special ringside enforcer, as the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle are also banned from ringside. But this is just going to continue the feud with the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle, of course, with MJF turning on Jericho and the Inner Circle and forming his own bunch as well. A lot of groups, a lot of factions in All Elite Wrestling, but they'll square off at Blood and Guts 3 weeks from tonight, and then on the road to Double or Nothing. But it'll be Jericho and Dax Harwood with Mike Tyson as the special ringside enforcer, I assume, for ratings. And then also, as mentioned, those two championship matches, the AEW World Tag Team titles will be on the line this evening, as the Bucks of Youth, the Young Bucks, will defend against the Death Triangle and Pac and Rey Fenix. And then, speaking of the Bucks of Youth, delete with Matt Hardy. He'll challenge Darby Allin for the AEW TNT title in a Falls Count Anywhere match this evening as well. So actually, a stacked card for All Elite Wrestling this evening. I'm sure we're going to get a few filler segments, whether those are matches, you know, backstage interviews, promos, or whatnot. We'll have to find out and see for ourselves. Only time is going to tell. Because last night, I mean, NXT, as mentioned, they had, I believe, 8 segments, and then they did add a filler in as well for the 2-hour show. So that's, you know, normally a stacked card to the top. So AEW has what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and yeah, probably 1 or 2. I'm sure they're going to take some time to, after the opening segment, whether it's a promo or a match. I would assume one of the championship matches, honestly. Maybe even Jericho and Dax Harwood with Mike Tyson, unless they're going to save that for the 9 o'clock hour or the 10 for the main event. But then they'll continue to preview with what's still to come tonight, as they always do. And then before the main event, preview what they have planned for next week. So they'll start to put the throttle down on the road to Blood and Guts. As mentioned, that's 3 weeks away, as we're about less than 5 minutes away now from the top of the hour. But interesting to see what does in fact happen on Dynamite this evening. So yeah, as mentioned, Jericho and Harwood, I mean, 2 single matches in the women's division that they're still trying to figure out. We'll see where they go, you know, there. I mean, Britt Baker is the top woman in All Elite Wrestling. She actually last week, and we'll get into it with the recap from last week as well throughout the night, she had stated that the AEW win-loss record is bullshit, and she called out Tony Khan about it. So we'll see if he has anything to say But she wants a championship match because, yeah, no shit, she absolutely does deserve it. So maybe Blood and Guts, maybe for Double or Nothing, Britt Baker gets that women's championship opportunity. But in the meantime, only time's going to tell. So I'll digress. But yeah, interesting. Excited for Dynamite tonight, especially with them. Well, at least for WWE, for NXT, and Raw and SmackDown, all their words about the goddamn ratings. It seems like NXT's did rise last night, being by themselves in the new permanent move. But AEW's, been on Wednesdays ever since they came in, and that's where they're staying. As mentioned, as they won the war. Before AEW became a thing, NXT was on Thursdays when they first started. Then they moved to Wednesdays, and they were just on Wednesdays when AEW started, and then AEW, kicked them out basically to Tuesdays. But we'll have to see if AEW, if their audience jumps as well, with, I would assume, a good percentage of people, even though I do watch, or did watch now, both at the same time, that a good percentage of people did, but then the other half, of course, didn't. So I'm sure they're going to have some new viewers this evening, but see if they can top that $1 million man threshold for the ratings, for the demo god himself, as the champions in action against Dax Harwood. But as mentioned, with the Inner Circle and Pinnacle banned from ringside, they're going to come out. So we'll see where that goes. As mentioned, it's going to kick off the show if it's not one of the championship matches, and then one's going to be the 9 and one's going to be the main event, unless they add something big from now until the end of the show in 2 hours time, as we're about to kick off All Elite Wrestling AEW Dynamite on TNT. So once again, thank you for tuning in and watching my live reactions play live right here on YouTube. Last night on the USA Network, we had The Rock and San Andreas taking us to NXT. Now tonight, with The Rock and Kevin Hart and Central Intelligence taking us into AEW Dynamite. So be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. That thumbs up button. Share hashtag AEW, hashtag AEW Dynamite. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated. WWE changed up their opening video package. We'll see if AEW does or not. They did just recently within the past few months. But now next on TNT, All Elite Wrestling, AEW Dynamite. Got some, of course, highlights in this video package. Previewing some of the matches to come that I've already gone over for tonight. The worst is yet to come. That's what Jericho, of course, said last week. And we'll go over his entire promo that he cut, which was absolute stellar. Now we got the Young Bucks cutting a promo to kick off AEW Dynamite, and we go back to the main event when they teamed John Moxley in a 6-man tag, taking on Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. And then they sort of just quit on Moxley and turned on him. And then Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers, Too Sweet Me, along with the Elite, as it seems like they're all back together. The Bucks turned on Moxley. Moxley's going to get his championship rematch once more against Omega at some point in time. I'm sure they're going to hype up Blood and Guts, but then, you still got a pay-per-view a few weeks later with Double or Nothing. But Blood and Guts was supposed to happen in March last year, of course, didn't because of COVID. Now, it'll be 14 months later when time rolls around in a few weeks that they'll actually end up having the event, which, I'm excited to see what happens, with that. If it's going to be, like a War Games type of pay-per-view. I mean, it'd be a TV special, of course, but we get a video package with the Bucks cutting a promo here with them last week in the main event of Dynamite, turning on John Moxley. Now they're done with being Disney characters, and of course they've turned heel, and they're going back to sort of what the Bucks were over New Japan before AEW was formed. So here comes the boom. It's Wednesday night. You know what that means. Rest in peace, Brody Lee. AEW Dynamite on TNT from Daly's Place in Jacksonville. It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It's time for AEW Dynamite on TNT. JR, Excalibur, Tony Schiavone on the call. tonight, it'll be Chris Jericho with Sammy Guevara and Dax Harwood with Cash Wheeler, of course, formerly known as FTR. They are now part of the Pinnacle, but the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle, they'll be banned from ringside with Mike Tyson as the special ringside enforcer now. Mike Tyson got in a promo backstage, and MJF interrupts him. We're cool. I just want to say one thing, says MJF. My dad said you were a big deal because MJF, of course, would have just been born when Tyson was on top of the world. MJF in a baby blue jacket with his scarf around his neck. Finally got some of the figures behind me as well. Chris Jericho is Mike Tyson's enemy, says MJF. More like the other way around. With Mike Tyson being MJF's enemy. Or even MJF being Tyson's enemy, however you want to put it. MJF's scared of Mike Tyson. Looking at your face, talks about his tattoo. And then MJF pulls out a blank check with Tyson's name on it. Hey, you can turn on the Inner Circle and join the Pinnacle if you want. He knocks the check out of his hand. He actually rips it up in front of his face now. Take that. And you can, well, Tyson's actually going to eat the check. He rips it up and eats it. Now he spits it out. MJF, hey, okay, all right, I'll remember that. Tyson last week was actually before he came out and saved Chris Jericho from the Pinnacle, was taken with the new Jaguars head coach and Urban Meyer on the football field. Anthony Ogogo with QT Marshall tonight making his in-ring debut. The two women's singles matches as well still to come. Who will step up to Christian Cage's challenge is how they're putting it now. It's not him, hey, we're going to hear if he's going to answer and accept Taz's offer to join Team Taz. So up next, though, to kick off the night, it'll be the Young Bucks and the Death Triangle, Pac and Ray Phoenix for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. 60-minute time limit. Shit, are they going to have this go for a good half hour, 45 minutes, or what? I wouldn't mind that. But you don't hear 60-minute time limit for the opening contest of Dynamite. You'll hear 20-minute, maybe a 30, and then if it's the main event, it's TV time remaining. You'll hear a 60-minute for pay-per-view if it's the main event. Just like that exploding barbed wire deathmatch Revolution with Omega and Moxley. And other matches in the past. But to kick off the show, now here come the Young Bucks. We'll see if they get their money to pop and if they do their pose or not. Because they're changing up their look, it looks like, a little bit. And they're coming out with Don Callis. So the Bucks have turned heel, joined Omega and the Good Brothers, the Elite's back together. If only Hangman wasn't with the Dark Order right now. Everything would be normal. But they could go back that route. I mean, they played it off as, you know, he was kicked out and, you know, push him as a singles and do his own thing, which I'm perfectly fine with. And he could very well get involved with Darby and Matt Hardy for the TNT title. They actually do their pose in the middle of the ring. And then they get some pyro and the streamers coming out of the sides of the ring rather than the money to douse the ring then. Okay, yeah, AEW had a house show last week on Friday. The house always wins. Seeing some highlights from that, of course, because that wasn't televised. And Don Callis now going to be on commentary. But it'll be the Young Bucks and the Death Triangle. Pac and Ray Phoenix with Pentagon Jr., Pentel Zero M, nowhere to be found. The Bucks should retain, I would think, but especially with them just now turning heel, but you never know. We'll see. Bell rings, match underway. They lock up middle of the ring. The Bucks and the Death Triangle on AEW Dynamite for the AEW World Tag Team Championships to kick off the show. Be sure to use those hashtags AEW and AEW Dynamite. We share on social media. It's Matt, of course, Neville, Pac, starting things off. Back and forth with some headlock takedowns and a lot of reversals here early on. Not a whole lot going on yet. Couple more takedowns from both Jackson and Neville, and then Matt waves to him as they headbutt each other. And now they're going to back off. Tag made, but the Bucks can't, tag in Death Triangle. Matt's going to have to tag in Nick, which he does. So now it's Nick Jackson against Neville, but Neville will tag in Ray Phoenix, it looks like. So it'll be now Nick and Ray Phoenix squaring off. And now with the 60-minute time limit, of course, they don't have to go that long. It's just, if it does go that long, then there's no winner to draw. But unless Justin Roberts messed up with saying a 60-minute time limit rather than a 20 or 30, you're just a little surprised that they put this as a 60-minute time limit match for the tag team titles, at least to kick off the show, because you never see that. And AEW is really the only one that uses time limit matches. They're going to go for double drop kick on each other. They stop, realize, hey, no, that's not a good idea, and then Nick Jackson with a big clothesline. Now in the crowd, we got Jurassic Express with Best Friends. It looked like the Butcher and the Blade were there as well with SCU, if I'm not mistaken. So some other tag teams in the AEW Tag Team division getting a good look at this Tag Team Championship match from the crowd with those fans live in the stands in Jacksonville, Daly's Place. Phoenix off the ropes. Nice takedown there on the splash, more of a headbutt or a shoulder tackle, and then Pac over the top rope, taking out Matt Jackson, and then Phoenix with a suicide dive to take out Nick Jackson ringside in those house show barricade. There's Nick Nemeth, of course, Dolph Ziggler's little brother ringside. Still to come, Darby Allin and Matt Hardy for the TNT title. Back in the ring, though, Phoenix with a nice right forearm, and then a power slam. Tag made to Pac, he's illegal. Still to come as well, Iron Mike Tyson going to be the special ringside enforcer. As another tag's made, here comes Ray Phoenix again off the top rope. And then a big kick from Pac to the back of the head. And then a double kick to the knees, double kick to the back and chest, and then wraparound kick to the face and back of the head once more to the Young Bucks from the Death Triangle. Nice sequence there. Cover, 1, 2, kick out. Yeah, there's SCU. Daniels and Kazarian with Scorpio Sky off by himself now, sort of as a heel. We saw him last week high up in the Eagles' nest with Ethan Page, if I'm not mistaken. So as mentioned, yeah, these other AEW tag teams are getting a good look at this opening tag team title match on Dynamite tonight. Tag made. Here comes Nick Jackson, the one without the beard. He stares down the camera. You like that? No pin. He's just still staring down, talking to the camera. Yeah, there's the Butcher and the Blade with the Bunny, as Easter was a week and a half ago now. Bad Bunny showed out at WrestleMania. Nick Jackson, acting as if he's Woody from Toy Story, has Andy's name written on the bottom of his boot. Tag made. Here comes Matt once more. Off the ropes they go with Ray Phoenix. Double drop kick. JR, I believe, just said the war has started. I would say the war has ended, with at least AEW and NXT it has for the time being. But, you know, I've never really cared about the ratings anyway, because I've watched both at the same time. You know, so it never really affected me. Off the ropes they go once more with Ray Phoenix. Hip toss gets reversed. Super kick misses. Right hand misses, left hand misses, and then Pac tags in. Drop kick from him off the top rope to the Bucks. Clothesline misses. Big kick. Couple kicks to the midsection now. Pac off the ropes. Big kick to the side of the head. Surprised we haven't had a commercial break yet. Nice vertical suplex there from Pac. Cover. 1, 2, kick out at 2.5. And if we do get a commercial break, it's going to be a split screen. There's Best Friends, of course, Orange Cassidy, Chucky T, and Trent coming off their Arcade Anarchy with Miro, of course, formerly known as Rusev. Happy Miro Day, everyone. And Kip Sabian a few weeks back. They've sort of started a new feud with the Death Triangle as well after last week, so the future holds there. So back and forth, Bucks in control, Death Triangle control, Bucks in control, now Death Triangle's back in control. Hell, maybe they won't even have a commercial break for this match. They'll take an extra long one then once this gets over. They'll be taking one here soon, though. They're not going to go a whole half hour. If they do end up going a full 60 for the 60-minute time limit championship match with the tag team titles, unless they bought out an hour of free TV with no commercials, all right, but I don't get why you would do it for Dynamite here tonight unless you want to keep people, you know, tuned in because you're by yourselves now. You know, you don't want to do that for, say, a Blood and Guts or TV special or on a Crossroads on the road to a pay-per-view. You know, when there's, I'm not saying these are bad matches, but when there's bigger and better matches on those other shows like it normally is. But you have 2 championship matches tonight, double power bomb to the ring apron from the Bucks to the Death Triangle as well. But then you also have, you know, Mike Tyson on Dynamite once again tonight with him being the special ringside enforcer and the Jericho Inner Circle, Dax Harwood part of the Pinnacle match. Tag made. Nick's a legal one against Pac now. The Bucks look like a few cans of silver bullets with their new look. Silver headband, silver pants. Super kick, no. Big knee to the face in the corner. Another tag made. Here comes Matt. MJ and NJ. I don't know where Ray Phoenix went. He must still be down and out ringside. And the Bucks just showboating a little bit. Nick actually holding Pac into the top turnbuckle in the corner. And then, Matt doing a few flips, acting if he's going to do this or that. And then he scratches his back. And now we go to our first commercial break. It's a split screen, of course, with the action on the right. Hashtag AEW Dynamite when you share on social media. We'll see if they go back to, hey, use this hashtag to, for whatever match it is. They did this last summer to, potentially be entered to win. I believe it was merchandise, if I'm not mistaken. And, I did it for a few weeks. That they had it, of course, didn't win by any means. But at least happy Kushida's new Cruiserweight champion in NXT, and that I've received some new AEW action figures as well as of late, as those have been very, very hard to find. However, over time since last August when they came out, they're finally starting to pop up. So if you're still looking for them, just a little heads up, they're out there. You just gotta keep looking, and hopefully eventually you'll get them as well, as I've been able to get my hands on a few as of late too. So yeah, split screen commercial here. What is this, an Ozark commercial for Netflix? What it looks like. Actually, no, it's a horror movie. April 30th. Yeah, that's not Jason Bateman. Guy looks like Jason Bateman and the wife that, I don't know if it's his wife actually or not, but there's a blonde-haired girl that was walking, talking on the phone that looked like his wife in the show as well, so that's why I thought this is what it was. But no, Separation, a new movie, April 30th.
So, I'm trying to do more, less, more.
AEW Dynamite, split screen commercial. Bucks still in control of the Death Triangle.
2.6 grams carbs. That's going to premiere.
Weird seeing John Cena on TNT, especially the AEW one, but hey, it's TV. Like, whatever your contract says and whatever channel the show's on. All right, of course, he's hosting Wipeout now. Of course, Wipeout no longer on ABC. It's on Turner. It's on TBS. And Cena hasn't been seen in the WWE now in a little over a year, since he lost to the Fiend Bray Wyatt in their Firefly Funhouse match last year, WrestleMania 36. And a tag made, ref didn't see it, and they actually did the tag in the ring. They just clapped their hands, making it sound like, hey, they tagged in. And yeah, the Bucks here with the new era, there's an actual legal tag now. So Nick back in, taking on Pac, as Phoenix is back at least up on the ring apron for the time being. Double super kick misses as Pac held himself on the ropes. He's going to throw both the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, over the top rope ringside. And Ray Phoenix now wants a tag. However, they'll probably come down from behind on Ray Phoenix and drag him down off the ring apron. Just as he's about to tag in, as Pac is trying to crawl over. Yeah, here comes Nick to pull him down. See that coming from a mile away. The Bucks going to go up top, it looks like now. Now they're trying to get a slow clap going with the fans. Boos, though. And now they're just mocking the Death Triangle. Matt Jackson is the Young Bucks with what Ray Phoenix was trying to do with Pac, trying to tag in, and then he pumps it a few times, telling all of us to suck it, and Now he's going to go for a super kick to Pac. Actually, a clothesline. So this is definitely a new... actually, they're mocking the Street Profits. He's mocking Montez Ford. And now he's going to try to pick up Pac. Slams him down. It's actually pretty funny. This is a different Young Bucks this evening. And then Matt drops to his knees, acting as if he's, you know, choked up while he's celebrating here, like looking up above. Yeah, you can see some fake tears. It's actually pretty funny. And then Pac with a big clothesline. So they might want to watch it, you know. Could very well cost themselves the tag team titles in this championship match against the Death Triangle on Dynamite. 3 count from the official to answer the call, get back up on their feet. Ray Phoenix with a flying maneuver off the top rope. Bucks move out of the corner though. Big chop to the chest. And then a kick. And Jesus Christ, Ray Phoenix with a super kick of his own. Off the ropes he goes. Double neck breaker. Cover 1, 2. Kick out at 2.5. Match continues. Young Bucks still your tag team champions. That was a damn good sequence. Best of the match, best of the night so far, but still young. I'm about a half hour or so into the show. A drop kick to the back of the head of the Young Bucks from Phoenix off the top rope as Pac's now going to pick him up and slam him down with a blue thunder bomb, says Excalibur. And a kick out at 2. And the Death Triangle still trying to figure out how to defeat the Young Bucks here as they kicked out. Match will once again continue. Suplex from Pac to, that's Matt Jackson. Matt has the beard, Nick doesn't. That's how you can tell them apart. Because they're basically identical, even though they're not twins. What the hell was that? He completely missed. And then Phoenix taking out Nick ringside. And then a Snapdragon in another ring cover. 1, 2, 3. And a kick out by the Bucks at 2.5 as Pac and Ray Phoenix were that close to becoming tag team champions. Thing I don't get with Death Triangle, why don't you push Pac as a singles and then with the Lucha Brothers have them be your tag team? Unless, of course, they have something else planned for Penta. I get he's been banged up. But to me, like, when you have a tag team in a 3-man group, and then you use the Outcasts, if you will, and Pac to team with one half of the tag team, like, it's just odd. Like, it's just a mixed tag. It just doesn't make any sense. But it does, because they make it work. A few super kicks from everyone here. Jesus Christ. Because they could put Pac in the TNT title picture, maybe. Or even up against Omega for the AEW World title. Which, you know, he's had matches for those. But, like I said earlier, after last week, Death Triangle is also in with Best Friends right now, too. So, yeah, they're going to lose. The Bucks are going to retain here. And then, I mean, they might even get jumped in by Moxley, or Pac and Phoenix might get jumped by Best Friends who are in the crowd. But a 60-minute time limit opening contest for the tag team titles. boo, yay, some rights and lefts back and forth now in the middle of the ring. That's Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks and Pac, of course, Neville, and WWE as he is known as. Clothesline misses, actually. Pac goes over the top rope. And then now they're fighting on the ring apron. Double headbutt. And then they both get pulled down by... Alright, so Nick took out Pac and Ray Phoenix took out Matt Jackson, so super kick there ringside into the crowd, and then Jesus Christ, diamond cutter there from Phoenix to the Young Bucks. Gonna have to see a replay of all that, but another good sequence to now have all four competitors down and out ringside. Yeah, here's the first of this. Yeah, Matt took out Pac and Phoenix took out, Nick took out Phoenix and, excuse me, third time's the charm here. Nick took out Pac, Phoenix took out Matt Jackson, and then they fought ringside into the crowd, and then that diamond cutter RKO from Phoenix to the Young Bucks, and now they're all back in the ring. So this actually is a very, very good opening match for Dynamite this evening. Tag made, so Phoenix is legal. Pac off the top rope, though. And a vertical superplex. Phoenix now going for a frog splash. That connects. Cover. 1, 2, and the Young Bucks kick out. Another tag made. Pac's legal. Pac gonna take flight as well here. Go for his, whatever they call that. Okay, Black Arrow. Cover 1, 2, and then the Young Bucks actually break up the count, driving Ray Phoenix into the pin. And then a clothesline, actually more of a big right hand. And now Nick dragging Matt to their corner, and he's going to tag himself in. So it's Nick and Pac as your two legal competitors now. Another suplex off the ropes, no, and then a low blow. Ref didn't see it. Tag made. Phoenix is legal though. And then a super kick from the Young Bucks as he flies off the top rope. And then they rip off Ray Phoenix's mask. Ray Phoenix's mask has been ripped off on Dynamite. Double super kick, cover, 1, 2, 3. The Young Bucks retain the championships and defeat the Death Triangle here on AEW Dynamite this evening. They are still your AEW World Tag Team Champions. So they ripped the mask off, threw it into the crowd. And yeah, you like that? I ripped his mask off. But hey, so they pan to all the other tag teams still in the crowd. And now here comes Don Callis, who's on commentary for the whole entire match, but I don't think he said a damn word. Now he's walking to the ring, going to celebrate with the Bucks. So the super kick off the top rope, and then they ripped Ray Phoenix's mask off. Double super kick from both the Bucks and the quick cover, 1, 2, 3. And they are your winners. And that low blow was the key. That distracted the ref. Of course, he wasn't paying any attention. They hit the low blow. Tag made. Ray Phoenix legal then off the top rope. Super kick. Double super kick after the mask got ripped off. And 1, 2, 3 for the pin. Hangman Adam Page is standing by backstage with Alex Marvez.
Number 1 men's single contender Hangman Adam
and Hangman's the number one contender, I guess. So, of course, they're getting the Elite back together. Now Hangman's the number one contender for Omega's title, so they're circling back around. It makes sense, but he's sort of the new leader of the Dark Order since, Brody passed, and they're now backstage with him as he's cutting a promo in this interview with the entire Dark Order. That wasn't my question, but John Silver, with his injury, doing some therapy, getting his arm up in the air. All right. And they'll fade to black and take a commercial break. So, first half hour or so into the show, a little preview for what's to come. They have a stellar tag team championship match with the Bucks, of course, retaining as thought. So we'll see who their next challengers are. As the Death Triangle won the Face of the Revolution tag team match that they had to become the number one contenders. Now they lost. And the Death Triangle, you would think, is going to be moving on to Best Friends after last week. So, and as mentioned, we're going to still recap AEW from last week here to an extent, but Hangman interview backstage, he walks away, but he's the new number one contender. He's the atop the win-loss column, I guess, for the whole entire men's division in AEW. So, like I said, that makes sense. They kicked him out. Now they're going to bring it back in with, him going to challenge after Moxa, I guess, up against Omega for the world title. Especially with the Bucks turning heel, they're in with Omega and the Good Brothers, and Don Callis is, managing all them. So we'll see what happens with all that, along with when we return from commercial break here as well. But as mentioned, due to technical difficulties from last week, we're going to recap Dynamite. As we saw about the first hour or so before it went out, it seems to me when there are technical difficulties, at least throughout the week, for live reactions play, it always happens after 9 o'clock for some reason, in between 9 and 9:15, 9 and 9:30. So we'll see if that trend continues. Hopefully not. Knock on wood there. But yeah, Dynamite last week. Just make this as quick as possible. But as mentioned, we're going to continue to do this throughout the commercial breaks we get this evening. As they were head-to-head for the final time with WWE NXT, and it was a takeover pay-per-view with a takeover stand and deliver. Actually, night one and the night two is the next night. But now we're back from commercials, so we're going to have to save all this for the next commercial break. So we'll see what they got planned for us now. It seems like we're going to go back to Alex Marvez once again. And he's back in black with the Inner Circle and Iron Mike Tyson. Jericho growing his beard out, as mentioned. It'll be Jericho and Dax Harwood later on tonight with Tyson as a special ringside enforcer. He saved Jericho last week. Of course, MJF handed him a blank check with his name on it earlier. He still could turn on him after he ripped the check up and ate it and then spit it in his face, but Jericho now cutting a promo backstage on Dynamite, so I would have to assume this is now going to be the main event with Darby and Matt Hardy, the 9 o'clock hour for the TNT title as well. Jericho has a lot of respect for Mike Tyson.
The first call I made was to Mike. Told him how I felt. When he heard what I had to say, he said, if you ever need anything from me, Chris Jericho, I'll be there.
You ever need anything from me, I'll be there. Those are best friends.
Thankfully,
And MJF, of course, is Jericho's jerk-off friend,
he's the special
as he's been calling him
Jericho versus
as of late.
who, by the way,
Of course, after MJF turned on the Inner Circle
just
and
2 weeks ago.
formed the Pinnacle.
But just because Mike is the special enforcer, I just want to say, Mike, I don't expect any special favors or special treatment.
Jericho says, I don't expect any special favors or anything along those lines.
I'm firm, but I'm fair.
Firm but fair, says Mike Tyson. Best man wins when called down the
I'm
middle.
happy to call you a friend, but I'm not going to kick in your side. If you mess up, there's a possibility you can get knocked out again. I don't want that.
You mess up, there's a possibility you could still get knocked out again. And then they shake hands.
I still remember that punch.
I still remember that punch. As Jericho even stated as of late that he was worried that Tyson was actually going to knock him out for real. Now on AEW Dynamite, we got Red Velvet, so it'll be Jade Cargill and Red Velvet in singles competition for the first time. A match that's been in the making as of late, going back to before Revolution with, Cody and Brandy, but of course she's pregnant, and then it actually shows some highlights from last month. Because then they teamed Cody the Red Velvet. Cargill brings in Shaq. They have the mixed tag team match that, of course, continued this feud. Now 2 weeks ago, they're still going at it. Even last night on AEW Dark, and then the night before AEW Dark Elevation with the Big Show Paul White on commentary now too. We're finally getting the singles match with Jade Cargill and Red Velvet on AEW Dynamite. But last week, as mentioned, in the opening contest, Hangman Adam Page defeated Max Caster. We then had the Best Friends Death Triangle segment after there was, I believe, something in between that, of course, got them out there. Can't recall. Yeah, I probably should have that wrote down right now, of course. Wished I did, but we went straight from Hangman defeating Max Caster as AEW was head-to-head with NXT for the final time, because NXT just moved to Tuesday nights beginning last night now. But yeah, they had the short little segment with Best Friends Death Triangle, starting a new feud. Then before the commercial break, this round this time actually last week, it was a little bit before, 8:30, quarter 9. We went outside football field, TIAA Bank Field, in Duval and Jacksonville. Urban Meyer, the new Jags head coach, was talking with Mike Tyson. So that's the first we've seen of him on TV. But we came back from commercial, and then we had the return of the Inner Circle after, of course, the beatdown that they had took from the Pinnacle over the past month or so, the month from hell that they were in. And Jericho, sporting a new beard. They have a lot to say after the break because, they did. After Urban and Mike Tyson, they had the entrance, and then Jericho got on the mic and did say, I do remember this now. I haven't actually looked at this since last week. The Inner Circle has a lot to say, but it's going to be after the break. And then they, went to commercial. He did his best to Ryan Seacrest. But the Inner Circle was back in black. He kept calling the Pinnacle the Pineapple before he got word from Sammy Guevara, hey, it's the Pinnacle, not the Pineapple. But, MJF's is now jerk-off friend. He talked about being terrible in chemistry class, but, who isn't bad in chemistry? I mean, seriously. Other than you got to go to Walter White in Breaking Bad and, that science chemistry teacher that, everybody had in high school that, would never retire. Nobody's smarter than them in that field. And then he was talking about being dope. Matt Riddle is. Jericho's smart with the psychology and the business of the world of pro wrestling. However, the Inner Circle got outsmarted by the Pineapple, the Pinnacle, if you will. Talked about spray tanning, and then when he was 25, you know, with the wet dreams he would be having. Of course, MJF's around that age right now, so it's been brought into the story. We'll see if they go back to anything that I've already mentioned or about to say at some point in time in the future or not. But MJF's, this is from Jericho at least, better than the GOAT himself now. Of course, speaking about himself. But, you know, you take baby steps. You shouldn't be better than the GOAT right now. Even though you are, you should be as good, if not better than me when, you know, you get to around the time he's going to be Jericho's age in a good another quarter of a century. But baby steps. And then he had a shot at the WWE about being tired, old, stale, and sucking. You know, changed it up a little bit. You know, the clipboard, add that to the list of gimmicks. Stealing MJF, believing in his own hype. Don't read what people say about you. Don't be a Mark, be a Max. Of course, that's a shot at wrestling fans. And then Jericho was like, "You'll never be, you know, better than me," and you know it, of course, which is MJF's catchphrase. But then the Pinnacle with Tully, FTR, even Sean Spears were mentioned as he was fired by the Fed 10 years ago, which, of course, the Federation of the World Wrestling, now Entertainment, with the WWE, and then Spears' 10 gimmick being the perfect 10 as Ty Dillinger, as Spears is like the only person in the year 2021 that has a blonde mohawk. He brought up Wardlow as well, as Wardlow basically is still just MJF's bodyguard. He hasn't done a damn thing. But the Inner Circle, they like to fight. You want blood, you want violence. Then this is when the breaking news broke that Blood and Guts would officially be 3 weeks now from tonight, 4 weeks ago last week, May the 5th on AEW Dynamite. It'll be AEW Dynamite, Blood and Guts, and I'll have live reactions played live right here on YouTube then, so be sure to tune back in. But the worst is yet to come for the Pinnacle. As mentioned before, they announced Blood and Guts. Of course, first ever Blood and Guts coming up in a few weeks because they couldn't have it last year. I still believe that they're going to have a Stadium Stampede match at Double or Nothing with the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle, just to add on to what they'll do to each other at the Blood and Guts event. But the worst is yet to come for the Pinnacle. They flipped off the camera before standing tall and in the Inner Circle. With Jericho's entire promo, he basically did it all himself, as we're back to the action on Dynamite with Cargill and Velvet as well. You know, they stood tall and walked off with being top dogs against the Pinnacle right now. In this, it is 5-on-5. I mean, you have Jericho and MJF. You know, Tully's just there, I guess, as a manager. You got your tag teams with Santana and Ortiz and FTR. You got your big men with, of course, Hager and Wardlow, and then Sammy Guevara and Sean Spears. So, and like I said, Tully's just there, but Tully Blanchard's Tully Blanchard, of course. Jericho also did say, now that I bring up Tully, saying he was the third best in the four-man group, of course, known as the Four Horsemen, with not name-dropping Ric Flair, but he name-dropped the other two in front of Tully, meaning, of course, Ric Flair would be the fourth, another shot at the WWE. But a damn good promo from Chris Jericho last week on Dynamite. Then we went, so excited for the Blood and Guts event in a few weeks, which, if they don't say anything about it tonight, which I'm sure they will at some point in time during Jericho Dax Harwood match, that they'll start with that either next week or the week after, because on May 5th, of course, Cinco de Mayo, that's when Blood and Guts is. But excited for that to come. But then they went backstage with Christian Cage, of course, now in AEW. Had an interview, but then Team Taz interrupted. Taz offered Christian a chance to join Team Taz. And then, like I said, for tonight, before they changed it up, Cargill 1, 2, 3 defeating Red Velvet tonight on Dynamite. In the meantime, that will Christian Cage accept Taz's offer to join Team Taz? But now it's who's going to answer Christian Cage's challenge. Is it? I guess looks like he's going to be in a match tonight on Dynamite, but we'll see. Also, last week, as mentioned on AEW Dynamite, we had Jurassic Express in Bear Country. JE with the win there. QT Marshall Nightmare Factory promo. Sting and Lance Archer with Jake the Snake Roberts. They're continuing to butt heads. Now we're backstage. I'm going to shut the hell up. Britt Baker interview with Tony Schiavone. The Dr. DMD herself. She has breaking news with the AEW rankings. She's ranked third at 7-1. Of course, the AEW win-loss record, as she stated last week, is complete bullshit, and she wants a championship match. So, yeah. She needs elevated to number 2 because she has 2 more wins than the person in front of her at number 2. So Britt Baker now going to be on AEW Dark Elevation, AEW Dark, and AEW Dynamite to get those wins up so she can move up the ladder board and become the new number 1 contender for the AEW Women's Championship, and a championship she absolutely deserves to win. DMD. Good luck in your future endeavors, says Tony Schiavone. Dr. Britt Baker, baby. Now we're back into the ring with Anthony Ogogo. I guess he medaled in the Olympics. I'm sure they're going to fill us in with his history. Don't really know a whole lot about him. There's Aaron Slolo, though, of course, the ex-boyfriend of Bailey. And this is the Nightmare family, or the Nightmare Factory family with QT Marshall leading the way. AEW really high on groups and factions. There's a lot of those. And their logo's a little bit sort of like the Undisputed Era logo, if you ask me. To an extent. I mean, it's different colors. It looks a little different, but it's very similar. Now, Ogogo making his in-ring debut against some high school kid, it looks like. Bo Carter, who the hell he is, just like J.D. Drake last week against Darby Allin, will take on Anthony Ogogo in singles, and Aogo is going to pick up the win, I would have to assume. Anthony Ogogo, that's how you pronounce his name. Junior Olympic champion, says Excalibur. Big right hand to the gut. And the ref calls for the bell just like that. So I guess his finisher is going to be just a big right hand to the stomach to knock his opponent out. The Governor Athlete, is that what they're calling him? The Governor Athlete, Anthony Ogogo with the win? They got to figure something else out than that. Jesus Christ. That's not going to be believable. QT Marshall out there celebrating, and the whole entire factory as well. Very quick match. However, up next, so 9 o'clock hour, with the TNT title on the line, I guess, at the end, with, who knows, Sting probably getting another interview with Tony Schiavone as well. It'll be Chris Jericho against Dax Harwood with Iron Mike Tyson as a special ringside portion. That's coming up now next on AEW Dynamite. Back to last week, though. As mentioned, and speaking of the devil with Sting, him and Lance Archer and Jake the Snake Roberts, they're continuing to butt heads. So they're trying to get over Archer, but when, he's got Sting and Jake the Snake, who of course have been around for as long as they've been around for, sort of with them and against them. We'll see where they go with this. I honestly don't know. But if they're going to use Sting to put over Lance Archer, like, okay, I'd be fine with that. But with Sting, all he's done, other than in the cinematic match they had at Revolution, him and Darby against Team Taz, it's been interview, add on another 25 interviews on top of all that, and that's all he's done every single week. As I know that many weeks hasn't passed since he debuted back in December, but that's all he's done on TV. He's been in a talking segment, whether it's an interview or him cutting a promo. That all his Sting has done in the world of All Elite Wrestling, with Tony Schiavone, losing his mind just like Michael Cole does with Sasha Banks and his Boss Time. It's Sting. That's all he's done. That's all Sting's done on TV. And it's getting a little old, so we'll see where they go with this. But that was last week. Also last week, Darby Allin defended his TNT title, as he'll do once again tonight. Last week he defeated Cauliflower JD Drake with his cauliflower ears. And then Darby Allin tonight, because of what happened post-match with Darby and JD Drake, Matt Hardy attacking Darby, we now got a Falls Count Anywhere match, which if we had the tag team titles kick off the show, we got Jericho and Harwood next with Tyson, special ringside enforcer. I would have to assume the TNT title match, if it's Falls Count Anywhere, is going to be the main event now, with Darby Allin and Matt Hardy. So yeah, Darby Allin defeated JD Drake. He was attacked then by Matt Hardy. But then we went backstage to another Chris Jericho interview before they got attacked by the Pinnacle. And then they, of course, took this out to the ring. But earlier in the night, as mentioned, we heard from the Inner Circle with Chris Jericho's promo after their Month from Hell, of course, courtesy of MJF and Pinnacle, as it's looking more and more, as I stated last week and just a moment ago, like another Stadium Stampede with those two. The second ever. Last year it was the Elite and the Inner Circle. This year it looks like it's going to be the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle, which I wouldn't mind. But we've got Blood and Guts, of course, before that in a few weeks' time. But with Jericho's fire promo he had, which, as mentioned, was one of the best all time, and hold on. Now we got Miro. We'll get back to that. We got Miro now talking backstage. This is a vignette. They take us back to a few weeks ago with the Arcade Anarchy cinematic type match they had on Dynamite. Miro wasting his time with Kip Sabian. With or without you, I'm moving on. And they're going to push Miro, I guess. As then they show the tag team titles, the TNT title, and the world title. Crush. Happy Miro Day, everyone. So we'll get back to a recap from last week momentarily, but coming up now, Chris Jericho against Dax Harwood with Mike Tyson as the special ringside enforcer. The baddest man on the planet, Iron Mike Tyson. So right at 9 o'clock, Mike Tyson comes out in a pair of shorts and a white t-shirt because he can. "44 career knockouts, 22 in the first round." Of course, he was on top for how long? What you doing, big dog? Go lay down. What you doing? Play with the toy there. Quack. Quack. Get him. Yeah. You almost got a bunny rabbit earlier today, didn't you? Actually, 2 of them. Yeah. Now here comes the Pinnacle. Tully with Cash leading Dax to the ring. See if Jericho works that head of his after he received a few staples a few weeks back. After that backstage attack they had with the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle. So Tyson ringside. And he's a ringside enforcer, not the ref. But he can get involved if of course, something does in fact happen. Edge, most recently at WWE Review, was this. Now here comes the demigod, the champion, a little bit of the bubbly. The former AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Chris Jericho. As well as we always do, sing along to Judas, as I'm sure, as he's getting pyro, as he always does, that Judas effect, he could very well use that with a knockout punch from Tyson at the same time to defeat Dax Harwood here. He gives the link to Tyson. Tyson said earlier he's going to call it down the middle. Aubrey Edwards is going to be the official referee. And they're back to doing it twice in a row when they sing it. Judas. Because they did that every show before the pandemic, and then they, once fans returned, only did it once. Now they're back to doing it twice. So Tully kicking out, or excuse me, Aubrey Edwards kicking out Tully and Cash Wheeler. It's all right. Go get your toy. I know it fell. You can go get it yourself. You're a big boy. What's wrong? You're all right, buddy. Go lay down. You got plenty of toys. You're spoiled. You know that? Any other dog would love your life. Believe me. Bell rings, match underway. You know I love you. You say hi to everybody, you're staring at them. Yeah. So yeah, bell rings, match underway. Aubrey Edwards kicked out Tully and Cash. Actually just told them to go ringside because they're allowed to be ringside. With, of course, Tyson as the special ringside enforcer as well. But, and Jericho now grabbing a steel chair, but then Tyson grabs that. Hey, no, you can't use this. This isn't no DQ by any means. And then Dax with a, right, well, what you doing, huh? What? You're all right. Can I have a kiss? Thank you. What's up? You like your belly up, don't you? Now they're fighting in the crowd. Now back ringside. But yeah, a moment ago, Sammy Guevara is also ringside for this match. Yeah, Jericho grabbed that steel chair. Tyson took it from him. And then Dax, hey, right hand like thanks, but then he pulled back. Hey. Up high. on the side, the other side, down low, you're too slow, one of those. And then Tyson was actually about ready to suplex him. They just separated them, and they fought in the crowd. Now they're back into the ring, as mentioned. What are you doing? You just want to love it, don't you? Yeah, I know. You're the best dog ever, aren't you? You're the champion. You're the big dog. Yeah, you don't bite. You got plenty of toys. You don't need that toy at this fella. You can go get a different one. Or actually, you can go get the one that you're playing with. Yeah, you got something else. See? You're content. That's all right. Dax stumbling ringside all over the place. And yeah, they're checking on his staples from a few weeks back. He grabs a mic though and then hits Jericho with it over the head. So of course there's a distraction. Jericho's chest is beat red, so we've seen some chops in this match as well. Jericho gets thrown into the stage here a little bit. Jericho now with a pen right to the head of Dax Harwood. A pen. I believe it was a blue pen. Jericho pushes the cameraman out of the way. He's actually going to take the camera for himself, do the camera work, and go back to... And Dax Harwood flips him off, and then Jericho kicks him into Mike Tyson. But Jericho going back to with what he has done in the past with the camera. Gives us that funny face. Big kick to the midsection from Jericho to Harwood as they're back into the ring. Knee to the face now in the corner. Off the ropes they go. DDT, no. Dax going to throw Jericho into the steel post. Now they're going to fight ringside once more. Tyson, get the hell out of the way. Dax throws Jericho into the barricade. And then Dax stares down Mike Tyson. But Mike Tyson, now they're pointing fingers at each other like, hey, shut the hell up, do this, do that. Watch yourself. Split screen commercial as well. Hashtag AEW, hashtag AEW Dynamite, share on social media. And once more, thank you for tuning in and watching my live reactions play live right here on YouTube of All Elite Wrestling AEW Dynamite this evening. Now back to with what happened last week on Dynamite. Yeah, we left off with the fire promo from Chris Jericho, which, as mentioned, in my opinion at least, was one of the best all time, and was one of the best as of late in the world of pro wrestling today. But we found out, it was going to be Inner Circle Pinnacle on May 5th at Blood and Guts. But during that attack, because of course then it was later on the show, Jericho was attacked backstage. A whole Inner Circle was actually in the Pinnacle. Took him to the ring. That's when Tyson came out. And that's when the technical difficulties began on my end. So Iron Mike Tyson returned to save Chris Jericho from the Pinnacle before they, of course, hugged it out. Bygones be bygones. And Tyson's on again tonight. Special ringside enforcer, and this match is currently going on. So Britt Baker then said that the AEW win-loss record, the ranking system that they have, bullshit. She called out Tony Khan about it. She wants a championship match. Of course, as mentioned earlier, she absolutely deserves. Had Britt Baker's segment just a few moments ago as well, in which, she's now going to be fighting on all three brands of AEW to get that win record up so she can move up the leaderboard to get a championship opportunity. Also last week, we had Tay Conte defeat the Bunny because, of course, with the Hardy family compound and the Dark Order, button heads, of course, it goes back to Hangman and Matt Hardy. Now Matt Hardy and Darby Allin, night for the TNT title. But then in the main event of the evening, it was Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers taking on Jon Moxley and the Young Bucks before the Young Bucks turned heel and turned on Mox, and the Elite has been reformed. They're back together. And then they previewed, well, actually before the main event, that next week, of course, we've already had one of these matches. Now with the Young Bucks, changing up their characters a little bit as well with the heel turn. They defeated the Death Triangle in the opening contest for tag team titles earlier tonight, and then still to come, Darby Allin and Matt Hardy for the TNT Championship as well. But yeah, the Bucks turned on Moxley. Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers picked up the win, and they hugged it out, too sweet at each other, and they went off the air. So Dynamite last week, Dynamite tonight, not been that bad. NXT was pretty good last night as well. So at least we're seeing some good pro wrestling from, all these companies and all these different brands that they present throughout the week for us fans to watch. So now back from the split screen commercial break, Chris Jericho and Dax Harwood, of course, the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle, about to do battle in 3 weeks' time at AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts for Double or Nothing Memorial Day weekend. AEW now running Sunday pay-per-views. Mike Tyson is the special ringside enforcer for this match. Jericho now going up off the top rope. Nice takedown there to Dax Harwood. Dax the Axe. There was an axe from Jericho right to his head, and then a running bulldog. Jericho with a moonsault, lion tamer, cover, 1, 2, and a kick out at 2.5 as Cash Wheeler was about to come in to break up the pin. But this isn't a tag team match, it's a singles with Sammy and Cash ringside, of course. Tully Blanchard out there as well with Mike Tyson as the special ringside enforcer once more. So that's where we stand. We'll still have Chris Statlander, who returned a few weeks ago, with Amber Nova tonight, Christian Cage's challenge, and then Darby and Matt Hardy for the TNT title, which falls kind of anywhere. So I would assume they're going to give that at least 20 to 30 minutes for a main event. And they preview still to come down in the bottom left-hand corner, still to come, falls kind of anywhere for the TNT title, Darby Allin and Matt Hardy. All right, who will step up to Christian Cage's challenge? That's still to come. Maybe Christopher Daniels, him and Frank Kazarian, of course, because Christian Cage doesn't do anything on Monday nights anymore. They were supposed to have a match, I do believe, or they teased it at least. I don't know if they've had it yet or not, on AEW Dark Elevation. Nice big powerbomb there in the meantime in this match with Dax Harwood powerbombing Chris Jericho. Now some slow claps from the crowd to get everybody pumped up. Get this match rolling on. Slap to the face. And headbutt off the top rope. No. Jericho moves out of the way. Now he's going to put him in the walls. Trying to get him to tap out. Cash with a hit to Chris Jericho and then a quick roll up 1, 2, kick out at 2.5 by Jericho. The ref didn't see it. But then Tyson walking over to Cash and then Sammy Guevara attacks. So we got a fight ringside and in the ring. Jericho's going to come out on top. There's no way Chris Jericho loses to Dax Harwood on Dynamite. Vertical suplex. Cover, 1, 2. Kick out once more by Jericho. code breaker out of nowhere. And now here comes MJF and the rest of the Pinnacle, but the Inner Circle is right behind with an attack. MJF looks like he's in the 1970s right now. Jericho, Cash Wheeler with that bat. Floyd. But then Mike Tyson sees him. No, hey, you can't use that bat. And then Tyson knocks out Cash Wheeler. Inner Circle and Pinnacle fighting at the entrance. And then Dax with a kick to the midsection. Sammy Guevara with a distraction. Jericho reverses it. Jericho with that Judas effect. Judas for the 1, 2, 3, picking up the win. Chris Jericho, your winner. With help from sort of, I guess, Mike Tyson with a knockout ringside. And then the Judas effect, as I stated, in the ring for the win. So the Inner Circle 1-up on the Pinnacle right now as they're back in black, baby. Tyson now up on the entrance. Is he going to get in the ring? Mike Tyson now in the ring as well. Now a few highlights. Yeah, Cash Wheeler was going to use the bat, and then Tyson knocked him out. And then the distraction from Sammy, reversal from Jericho, and then a Judas effect 1, 2, 3 to pick up the win. Wardlow carrying Cash Wheeler. Jericho now on the mic. Hey, Jericho gonna cut another damn good promo here. After you pieces of trash leave. Right here, right now, Iron Mike Tyson. Is now a member of the Inner Circle. And now we go outside at night. I don't know if this was pre-taped or not, but it's Alex Marvez with Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and the Good Brothers. Would you like a scoop? This is not a prediction, it's a spoiler. It's this that the wrestling world has learned.
You see, when the Young Bucks came back in the fold, the greatest tag team of the last 2,000 years, when the Young Bucks came back to the family fold, it wasn't the end of the story.
It wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning with the Young Bucks returning to the Elite. The interwebs, the radios, the podcasts. Why did you change, Kenny? Why did you change, Young Bucks? Non-sport numbnut fans are sick of them. They're just going to be just like they were. The gold will follow. What a prince, says the big LG, Luke Gallows, I believe he said. Matches of the year coming out of my damn ears. AEW Tag Team Division has now officially been put on notice as well by the Young Bucks. Whoever challenges got a BTE trigger with their name on it. You wanted the old Young Bucks, you wanted the old Kenny Omega, you wanted the old Elite, you got it. Be prepared. be prepared to be surprised again, and then the Young Bucks are going to go super kick the cameraman. And then Don Callis super kicks the cameraman. And they head to a commercial break. That was actually pretty good. So the Elite minus Hangman back to full strength, but they said earlier Hangman's the new #1 contender anyway. So what I said then, I'll say again. They kicked him out, but they're circling back around and sort of getting the band back together to an extent, whether he's in or out. But of course he's out because he's basically the new leader of the Dark Order, as mentioned. But you got Kenny Omega still as your world champion, the Young Bucks as your tag team champions, the Good Brothers themselves as a tag team as well. So I still believe they're the Impact tag champs, if I'm not mistaken, with TNA Impact now officially on Thursday nights. But we'll see what the future holds for the Elite in AEW. So yeah, still to come, Chris Statlander and Amber Nova. Christian Cage challenge. Who's gonna answer? It's probably gonna be somebody from Team Taz. Just so they can continue that. One of those will be next, the other to follow, and then they'll have the TNT title on the line of the main event and Falls Count Anywhere match. That's the final 40 minutes or so here of AEW Dynamite this evening.
What you up to?
Chillin'.
Yes, the fine life, baby.
That's the fine life, Snoop. The first ingredient in this Cliff Bar is brown rice syrup, which is another name for sugar. In this kind of art, it's heart-healthy almonds with the taste of dark chocolate and 75% less sugar than the leading Cliff Bar. Be kind to yourself. Up at 2 a.m. again. Tonight, try Pearsy's Dynamite. Unlike other servings, our extended release melatonin helps you sleep longer and longer. Zero Pearsy's Dynamite. Fall asleep, stay asleep.
Tony Schiavone says Don Callis needs to be suspended or fined for kicking the cameraman. Now we take a flashback to last month from St. Patrick's Day Slam with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, with Thunder Rosa now cutting a promo in this vignette. She is coming after the women's title. Thunder Rosa is. So Serena Deeb's the NWA Women's Champion. Sheeta's the AEW Women's Champion. Maybe they're going to merge those two titles. Thunder Rosa maybe wins it all. Once all said and done, she's going to challenge the winner of that match. So here comes Chris Statlander. She returned out of one of the arcades a few weeks ago with Best Friends as they squared off against Miro and Kip Sabian. It'll be Chris Statlander and Amber Nova next on Dynamite. The Alien, Chris Statlander, who was out of action for quite a while with an injury. And they very well could push her as well. As Amber Nova, whoever the hell she is making her Dynamite debut. Bell rings, match underway. This is going to be quick. Welcome back, Chance. And Chris Statlander with a little poke to the nose of the ref, as she did to the best friends as well, Orange Cassidy, Chucky T, and Trent Beretta during the entrance. But so I guess that's a new thing she's got going for her as a part of her character. They lock up, match underway. Statlander has Nova from Philly in the corner. And of course, they promote future episodes of Dynamite that are still going to be taking place in Jacksonville at Daly's Place with, you know, the fans that, whether they live in Florida or not, can actually attend, you know, these socially distant shows. Big forearm from Chris Statlander. Statlander throwing her off the ropes. Nice big power slam in the middle of the ring. Statlander with some claps trying to get the crowd into it. Best friends are ringside. So maybe with them ringside, the Death Triangle, since they lost earlier, they'll come out and attack. While she was rehabbing, she was getting back into shape. I would hope so. I can't believe JR just said that, but he did. But I would hope so. Because when you're rehabbing an injury, you should be getting back into the shape you were in before you got injured. Chris Statlander with a big slam there once more. And then a leg drop. Gives a thumbs up to Orange Cassidy. Chris Statlander going to go for a finish here, it looks like. Nice big uppercut in the corner off the ropes. Knee, running knee that is. And a kick to the side of the head. Statlander going to pick her up. And what is this, a tombstone? Yeah. Cover, 1, 2, 3. Chris Statlander with the win. A little longer than I thought it was going to be. So, you know, 2 jobber matches here tonight to get over Anthony Ogogo and Chris Statlander. You know, a few promos, backstage interviews, hyping up some talent moving forward. 2 good matches with the Young Bucks and the Death Triangle, along Chris Jericho and Dax Harwood with the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle as well. We'll have Christian Cage's challenge next as Chris Statlander and Best Friends hug it out. But then the main event still to come. The TNT title is going to be on the line as Darby Allin will defend against Matt Hardy in a Falls Count Anywhere match. So now Team Taz still awaiting Christian Cage's answer on if he's going to join Team Taz or not. Of course he won't.
I'm just saying. But why are we waiting a week? We are Team Taz. We shouldn't even wait an hour for Christian Cage. I don't care who he is, what he did. I don't think we should be waiting. I know, you're right. And I love your passion. And you're not wrong.
Taz tells Ricky Starks to, hey, chill, calm down.
I think it's best for us to lock down Christian Cage, for you to stay backstage. You're a little combustible. It's best if you stay backstage. I just think I agree.
It's best if Ricky Starks stays backstage. A little indifferent lately, so they're teasing, of course, Ricky Starks getting kicked out of Team Taz. And Brian Cage. So Team Taz is just Taz and Will Hobbs now. Powerhouse Will Hobbs with Hook. Taz's son by their side as well. But who will step up to Christian Cage's challenge? That's going to be up next on Dynamite. So Shivani going to get an interview, and then somebody's going to come out to Christian Cage's challenge, and then still to come in the main event tonight, Falls Count Anywhere for the AEW TNT title. Darby Allin and Matt Hardy, Falls Count Anywhere. Commercial break, and we'll be back to the action momentarily. So stay tuned.
Sometimes the smallest gestures can be the most refreshing. Give extra, get extra. We make USAA insurance for renters who make the most of their space and money. That's why we make it easy to cover the stuff you love for as little as 33 cents a day. USAA, which you're made of, we're made for. The new Shake Hydro Subway Eraser shakes long subtle comfortably. The Subway Eraser's foam lifts and aligns longer facial hair. Enjoy less tugging and pulling. Then rinse and repeat. 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. That's up to you. Shake Hydro. And free. And free. And free. And free. Free. And free. And free. For free. And free. And free. And free. And free. That's right. TurboTax Free Edition is free. 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 Free.
She's the famous lawyer, right?
Oh, she's not a lawyer. She's just love.
I love my work. Threatening legal action is fun.
I mean, you generally care about right and wrong, and I find that fascinating.
Everything in history that ever got done because someone like you got pissed off. Let's go fight this thing.
That lady teacher, Popeye's Chicken Sandwich. And you?
This chicken sandwich tastes like somebody's grandma Lucille fried it twice, prayed over it, then sent it up to God, and he swiped right.
You won't really get it until you get it. Try it now for $3.99.
It's all real. A dragon marking? It's an invitation.
These are the chosen for what?
We don't have this time. We'll take more fights.
Mortal Kombat comes first. HBO Max April 23rd, rated R. Welcome back to AEW Dynamite here on TNT, everybody. And now, to our legendary comrade, Tony Schiavone.
Tony Schiavone now in the ring, gonna introduce Sting. No, Christian Cage, and then we're gonna get Christian Cage's challenger.
Let's bring into the ring here at Dynamite, the one and only Christian.
What if it's Big Show? What if it's Paul White? He gets the countdown from 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here comes Christian Cage. Outwork everyone. Of course, he was the mystery at Revolution. And he's going to be in action next. Christian Cage is Dynamite. So Schiavone with an interview.
Well, first things first, Tony. This is the first time that you and I had a chance to do this. This is a huge thrill for me.
Huge thrill for Christian Cage because Schiavone gets to interview the best of the best, like Sting every week.
It's given me an open contract, and I'm here to exercise that.
An open contract, he's here to exercise that as he's here to outwork everyone. And now here comes Taz. Taz a little upset. Taz pissed off he hasn't heard back yet. Because Taz offered Christian Cage a spot with Team Taz. Doesn't even acknowledge it. Acknowledge me.
Here's the thing, Taz. I was going to do this later on in the back and tried it like a professional, but since you're out here, listen, you said it yourself right now, Team Taz is a bit of a dumpster fire.
Team Taz is a bit of a dumpster fire right now. So no, I'm not going to join. I came to AEW to win championships, not fix your problems for you. My answer is no, but it's a good thing you're standing on those 3 steps, so we're standing face to face, of course, because Taz is quite smaller than Christian. That bingo hall money. You just made the biggest mistake of your life. He's probably going to get attacked from behind by either Starks or Brian Cage while Taz continues his promo. Maybe it's going to be Will Hobbs. Hobbs walk into the ring now. It's going to be Powerhouse Will Hobbs, it looks like, to challenge Christian Cage. All right, I don't mind this. And some rights now from Christian Cage. Size CC cup to take out Hobbs, but he's not going anywhere. Hobbs fighting back, just big power takedown there. I don't know what you call that. It wasn't even crossbody or a clothesline. It was just a, hey, I took you down. Team Taz sucks chance. And they're another, group, another faction in AEW. They're trying to get over Hobbs, too. So, not doing anything with Brian Cage as the FTW champion, and, Starks really isn't that good anyway. They've sort of been kicked out of Team Taz for the time being, told to stay backstage. So, it's like Team Taz with Hobbs, Powerhouse Will Hobbs, and Hook Taz's son by the side as he's training him, of course, still. But it looks like it's going to be with Christian saying no to Team Taz. Christian and Powerhouse Will Hobbs in an upcoming feud. Now they're by the steel steps. Hobbs whacks Christian's head off of that. So that was Christian Cage's open challenge. Team Taz answered and Will Hobbs took him out. Bell never rang. It was never an official match by any means, but this seems to be the direction they're going here. Next week, the AEW Women's World Championship will be on the line. It will be Shida and Tay Conte. And now we're going to take a look at their history. It's Japan versus Brazil with Shida and Tay Conte. That'll be next week on AEW Dynamite for the Women's Championship. Also next week, they make it official already, just seconds after it happened. Powerhouse Will Hobbs taking on Christian Cage. Also, Ricky Starks with Taz taking on Hangman Adam Page, who has a 11-match win streak, 7 straight singles wins. Trent with, of course, Orange Cassidy, his best friends, will take on Pentel Zero M. However, up next, it'll be Darby Allin defending his TNT Championship against Matt Hardy in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And they hit a commercial break, potentially for the final time, I'm sure. We're going to have another split screen probably. And then that'll do it for AEW Dynamite this evening. So up next, Falls Count Anywhere, anything goes. It'll be Darby Allin and Matt Hardy for the TNT title. Now tied with Ice-T, Stone Cold, and Mr. T. Turn into cold. Because I said so.
Your city will be finished in just one day.
Finished? My Coliseum, they'll never finish it today.
Unfortunately, we ran out of Red Bull.
So that's why Rome wasn't built in a day. The new ship Hyperstellar Racer shakes long, subtle, comfortably. The Stellar Racer's foam lifts and aligns longer facially. Enjoy less tugging and pulling. Then rinse and repeat. 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, that's up to you. Shake Hydro.
Chalupa's cheese stuffed shell is back, and we think you'll like it.
This is our from it's time we have a new boss. We're calling the shots now. From now on, we run things our way.
The truth is the truth. And here comes big money Matt Hardy of the Hardy family, the Hardy family compound, or as they're putting it, the Hardy family office, as he is now an HFO in AEW. Now here comes the TNT champion and Darby Allin. I'd be shocked if Matt Hardy wins this. I would. But you sort of got Sting involved still with Darby, I guess, to an extent. Even though Sting's moved on to Lance Archer. There's Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page up high. looking down, watching this match. And then, Matt Hardy and Hangman and Page still going at it. Still, I mean, if you want to go back to that. But Hangman's next in line for Omega. But if they'd have Sting cost Darby this match, have Matt Hardy win, or then maybe have Matt Hardy and Hangman and Page for the TNT title then. And then Omega gets somebody else if they'd want to push Darby. So, TNT title, Falls Count Anywhere match in tonight's main event of All Elite Wrestling AEW Dynamite this evening with Darby Allin and Matt Hardy once more. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Bell rings, match underway. Matt Hardy already grabbing a steel chair. Ref, hey, anything goes. That's what it is. No DQ, no holds barred. The Falls Count Anywhere match, so this is allowed. No special ringside enforcer in this match either. Steel chair shot misses as Darby Allin moves out of the way into the corner. Darby Allin off the ropes, and the steel chair shot to the back as he was going for a coffin drop to Matt Hardy. Now the ref, Rex, checking in on Darby. Yeah, it would have been a coffin drop cutter of some sorts because Matt Hardy wasn't laying down. But the truth is the truth. Matt Hardy, another steel chair shot to the back of Darby. So yeah, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page seem to be a little thing now. Steel chair shot misses once more into the barricade. They're fighting ringside now. Right to the gut. Now another shot to the back. Matt Hardy really using the steel chair here early in this matchup. Nice right hand. Darby's starting to actually bleed, it looks like, from his left shoulder. Shoulder blade, I should say, on his back. From as many steel chair shots as he's taken already, he's already cut open. Matt Hardy opens up that steel chair now. He's going to sit down in it, looks like. He does. That is the truth. Ref starting to put gloves on, so there is blood. Yeah, Darby's bleeding from his back. Subscribe to AEW on YouTube. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. The red subscribe button, little notification bell next to it as well if you haven't done so already. And they zoom in on Darby's back now. He is bleeding. And they give us some AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation results from the past few days, with AEW Dynamite being a pretty damn good show this evening as well. Another steel chair shot to the gut of Darby Allin as he's holding on to the ropes. Darby now starting to fight back, some slaps to the face of Matt Hardy. And nice neck breaker there from Matt Hardy. Cover, 1, 2, kick out. Little twist of fate into the steel chair, as he's going to open that back up again and sit back down in it. Actually, he's going to pick up Darby first. And he whacks Darby's head off of that steel chair. And what about Darby and Matt together as a tag team? Because, Darby is a lot like Jeff. I wouldn't mind that. Because they bring up, Hardy with all the tag team partners he's had, including with his family, and also, being a part of TLC matches in the past. Using weapons as he hits Darby across the back once more with that steel chair. As this has been the only weapon that's been used so far. And he opens the steel chair back up. I don't know why he keeps going back and forth with that, unless he's going to powerbomb him now or something. Or hit his head. Actually, he's going to put Darby's head in between the steel chair, and it's sitting upright. So Darby's on his knees with his head in the chair. And what, is he going to hit a twist of fate out of this? Yep. Twist of fate with the steel chair? No. Darby reverses it. Legs of the steel chair to the front of Matt Hardy, and then Darby now with the steel chair whacking the back of Matt Hardy. Darby Allin now with a few steel chair shots of his own to Matt Hardy, but here comes the Butcher with a garbage can. Hits Darby Allin with it. This is Falls Count Anywhere, so anything goes. And, yeah, Butcher and the Blade with Private Party of the Hardy family coming out and attacking Darby Allin. This is all legal because it's Falls Count Anywhere. Now they also got the steel steps. Butcher and Blade do ringside. And now here comes the Dark Order. So is Darby going to be the leader of the Dark Order, or Sting? Here's Sting. Sting with his bat attacking Private Party now. So Sting very well could be the new leader of the Dark Order. And then if they put Hangman back with the Elite, okay. Sting would make sense. Sting with the garbage can. So now all hell's broken loose. Sting with a double clothesline over the top rope to Private Party, sending them ringside. Sting has his baseball bat. We have a steel chair, a garbage can. Those steel steps have been moved. We're going to take a split screen commercial break now as well. This TNT title Falls Count Anywhere match will continue in tonight's main event of AEW Dynamite with Darby Allin defending against Matt Hardy. So once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. Be sure, as always, to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Scroll down. Check all those out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and right here on YouTube. Hit that red subscribe button, little notification bell next to it as well if you haven't done so already. Yeah, I am your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke96. Thumbs up button, if you will. Share hashtag AEW, hashtag AEW Dynamite as well. Chat questions and comments, super chat, super stickers. Always good. Appreciate if you like support the channel. Links also in the description below. Matt with a nice big slam there to Darby on the garbage can, and now we got the Hardy family with, of course, the Butcher and the Blade. Actually got a pin ringside, kick out at 2. They are attacking the Dark Order. So this still goes back to, Matt Hardy and the Dark Order with Hangman Adam Page, and Hangman, won at Revolution and, sort of solidified his place as the new leader following the passing of Brody Lee day after Christmas and the end of the year, just a few months ago, which was a little unfortunate, but life goes on. And and now really, like I said, Sting could very well could be a leader. They're still playing some mind games with all of us fans, teasing really like, okay, this is going on with this, but this is also going on with this, if that makes any sense. Like, referring with the Dark Order, that sort of there could be more than just the one leader, because Brody Lee is also always going to be the original leader, but of course he passed away due to a non-COVID-19 lung issue that he had for just a little over a month, and it was that fast, and he passed away, which of course made it as shocking as it was. I remember sitting here watching football that night, that live reaction streams right here on the channel, finding out the news that he passed away, and still I can't believe it. But as mentioned, life goes on, and the storylines have to continue as well for all the feuds, and in the meantime, they've done a pretty decent job at it, but there's all these different directions that they could go, and they know that, and I feel like that's why they're doing this. But In the meantime, we're back from commercial break, and Darby Allin and Matt Hardy, Jesus Christ, fighting ringside. Matt reversed the swing, and Darby went over the steel steps into the corner, back first into the top of the house show barricade, into the front row of the fans ringside. Into the crowd as Sting now is in the ring, still attacking Private Party. We've got a cover ringside as well with Matt Hardy 1-2 and a kick out by Darby. And now we got Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page coming out with Lance Archer telling them, hey, back off, like Sting's mine. And Sting about ready to go for a double Stinger DDT to the Private Party, but Lance Archer and Sting now are face to face. So maybe Lance Archer could be a new leader of the Dark Order if he wanted to be. Because then Jake the Snake Roberts is also in the mix. Jake the Snake showing Sting what he can do to Private Party. Nice big power slam there. But like I said, if they're going to use Sting to get over Lance Archer, I'm all for it, no doubt about it. Sting's baseball bat's also still right there in the ring. Matt Hardy and Darby Allin, Falls Count over the TNT title, sort of turned into Battle Royal, for God's sakes. Or the whole entire locker room that's in with this story out there fighting. Matt grabs that steel chair, points at Sting, and then Darby reverses steel chair shot to Matt Hardy, takedown on the entrance on the top of the stage. And then Sting throws his baseball bat to Darby Allin now, as we're about to head home. Darby Allin with the Louisville Slugger, about to hit a home run on Matt Hardy. As Sting just walks back through Gorilla. And then a low blow from Matt Hardy in the meantime as Darby was going to go for a swing to the back. Ref standing right there as well, but it's Falls Count anywhere, so anything goes. Matt Hardy going to go back to this twist of fate with the chair. Holy shit, that had to hurt. Darby locked into the chair. And then Matt Hardy hits the twist of fate on the entrance. Cover, 1, 2, kick out at 2.5. We've got about 5 minutes left for Dynamite tonight. Let's go Darby. Let's go Hardy. This is awesome. Now they're going to fight back through the tunnel and back into gorilla position, where I'm sure we're going to see Tony Khan, a few other talent. Yeah, there's Tony Khan. And Matt throws Darby into a TV monitor, and now he's got a ladder as he just slid him across the table, taking out that TV. Now he's got a ladder. He's going to climb this, it looks like. And that ladder's still set up, so he'll probably set Darby on that, jump off, Darby will move, and then that's going to be the finish. 1, 2, 3. Darby's going to pin him. Or it could be Matt, hey, with the truth being the truth, jumping off the ladder, cover 1, 2, 3, Rex the ref backstage now as well. Matt Hardy, nice leg drop through the table on Darby Allin. This is still for the TNT Championship as well. So Matt Hardy wins. He's your new TNT Champion. Cover. 1, 2, and a kick out. Now they're going to fight back through the other tunnel to go back out to the ring. Darby's gotten some new tattoos, I see. Now there's a table set up down below that Matt Hardy might powerbomb or just throw him off of into that. We got the Rex and the camera crew following. Darby Allin escapes. Low blow to Matt Hardy as they're now over by the announce table, but Darby Allin actually falls off the stage, grabs Sting's baseball bat that somehow magically fell to the bottom, unless they had another one set there already. So Darby now with the baseball bat once again. And they're right in front of the announce table. So Matt Hardy moves out of the way. Darby might want to watch it, you know, hitting JR with a baseball bat or Shivani or Excalibur, but he doesn't. Darby Allin with the baseball bat telling, hey, you guys better watch it. But he hits Matt Hardy a few times, including right there in the stomach, and then takes out the announce team monitors with the baseball bat. Announce team has to move the hell out of the way now. Now he's choking him out. Matt Hardy sort of tapping, but the match going to continue here. It seems like the finish is going to be with this announce table. Darby might actually climb to the top of the backdrop, and he is going behind it. Yeah, he's going to jump off the top of that, and then this will be the 1, 2, 3 for the win. Darby Allin going to retain his TNT title. He's climbing the whole way to the top of the scaffolding that's, of course, next to the backdrop. And then he hits the coffin drop off of that through the announce table on Matt Hardy. He's going to roll him over. I don't know why he just didn't cover him. I don't know why he rolled him over. Just cover him. 1, 2, 3. He does cover him now. 1, 2, 3. Darby Allin pins and defeats Matt Hardy to retain his AEW TNT title tonight in the main event of AEW Dynamite, in which it was Falls Count Anywhere, Darby Allin victorious. And he is still AEW TNT champion. It did get a little hectic there at a point in time, but and they fall all over really, including backstage. But then the coffin drop finish, cover 1, 2, 3. Darby still champion. So who's next for Darby? That's the other question. But tonight, the truth is that Darby Allin is still TNT champion. Now we got Darby celebrating. He's walking back over towards the entrance as Matt Hardy's been laid out by the coffin drop by the TNT champion. And Darby Allin is still your TNT champion in AEW as they hit the closing credits, and that does it for AEW Dynamite this evening. So thank you for tuning in and watching my AEW Dynamite live reactions, play-by-play, a live watch-along reaction stream, if you will, live right here on YouTube. Be sure, as always, to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Hope to everybody now on Friday for live reactions, play-by-play of WWE Friday Night SmackDown with the SmackDown After Mania with the big dog, Tribal Chief, head of the table that we all have to acknowledge, still your WWE Universal Champion. But at the end of the night tonight, the truth is that Darby Allin is still your AEW TNT champion. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you'll tune in Friday. Be sure, as always, to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below.